Hey, it's Charmaine. Welcome to the Cluttered Garden. Today I'm going to harvest my onions. I had meant to do this actually about a week or so ago, at least some of them, but I'm going to pull all of them today so that I can reuse these, my green stalks for something else. So let's get started. These two, these two light green original green stalks that I bought back in the day, they just haven't performed at all. And I just don't know why that is. But this is my best beet year ever. I planted the beets alongside the onions, and the beets did great in every single green stalk except for these two light green ones. And then my onions have done decently in my other green stalks, but not in either of these light green ones. And I mean, I can't even blame it on pocket size because the other light green one has 10-inch pockets. It did not do well. And I have the evergreen color in 7-inch pockets that I did onions in, and they did phenomenally. So I don't know. I don't know. If you guys have any ideas, drop me a line in the comments. But this is what I got out of that first light green stock. And although they didn't produce like the others produced, I'm not mad at it. These are still get eaten. Okay, and let's move on to these burgundy ones, which as you can tell are not level at all. At all, okay? But even though they're not level, at least the ones on top did really well. The ones on the bottom levels are a little bit smaller. So I think a lesson learned would be make sure they're level and not on these crates that they're standing on right now. But also make sure they're spaced a little bit further apart so the sun has a chance to hit the bottom levels more equally. Now, when I labeled these, I did not label each individual pocket clearly. I think these are the Walla Wallas. I labeled the outside of like the top tier for whatever I was starting. They're not huge. I feel like I could have done a better job of fertilizing these. I did a decent job watering, uh, but I think I could have done a better job of fertilizing. So this is my basket from the first two green stalks. I will need to go ahead and empty that out. I'm just going to put it in my DIY cold frame on the patio, and then I'll be back to finish up the rest of these. I think I've basically proven that it doesn't matter that the pocket size, be it 10-inch or 7-inch, really is not the deciding factor for how your onions will do in these green stalks. You can grow them in either. And I'll show you that one 7-inch once we get down there, get a closer look of it. But I mean, like these came out of this 10-inch pocket. But again, I think it's because I didn't turn them enough on a regular basis, and I also didn't feed them enough in each pocket because I did use some budget soil this year just because that's what my budget could afford. And I just amended it as best I could. And you see how this thing is leaning. Now, let's talk about this new color they got. Oh my gosh, y'all. Blackberry. I would love it. It would go great with my lavender. It would go great with the lemon I just bought, but it is not anywhere near the budget. So I'm just going to have to wait until the next time they release it. Now, I don't have a storage room, a basement, or a garage, but I do have a home office that I'm not using, and it's pretty small. It's a small space. So I think what I would like to do is put a very simple door that doesn't take a lot of space on that room and put a mini split in there and something to control the temperature and the humidity and make that a storage room. Not just for my crops though, but also for my canning items. So that's what I'm going to be working on. At some point, I want to get to the point where I have, 6 to maybe 8 green stalks that I can grow just onions in. I think at that point, I'll be splitting out the onions by type. I'm going to take these 2 light green ones out of commission for at least onion growing. Because I don't know what's going on. I'm going to try to plant something else in them and see if that works. But I'll need to do some troubleshooting for sure. All right, so that was the next two bins. A variety of different onions from the one red tower and the dark green tower. So this was the other 10-inch pocket for this light green color. Again, let me know what you think. I really just don't understand. I did put 2 cucumbers in here. We will see if we get anything out of those or not. And this is about the average size that I've been getting out of this tower. Okay, so this is the last one. This one has shallots in it, and some of them did okay, and some of them did not. But as you can see, at least on this top level, I still got a decent size, and this was from a 7-inch pocket. Now, I do understand why these didn't do as well, because look at all the weeds around. Forgot to mention that most of the onions that I grow are long day, because in the summer here, our days are, 14 to 16 hours, depending, during the bulk of the summer. All right, so this is what we have at the end. These are the medium to small size that I fit up here, plus I've got this tub of little teeny tinies and some small shallots. And then down below, I've got the medium to large ones. I'm just going to let them dry out here. I do have a few other onions here and there that I need to harvest that I put in containers with other things, mostly tomatoes and some peppers. So those I will be just pulling out here and there as they look ready. All right, so that is my onion harvest for this year. Again, I wish those two light green stalks had grown larger onions. I'm not sure what that was all about, but I'll probably have to do some troubleshooting on those two and see what was going on, because it's not whether it's 10-inch versus 7-inch, because both sizes work for onions. So yeah, I think I'll try growing some other things in those light green stalks besides herbs to see if anything grows, especially in this one closest to the deck. But I will let you know what my results are. Let me know how your onion harvest went this year. If you grew onions this year, are you going to try onions next year? Do you grow them for seed? Do you get starts? And thank you so much for watching. Be blessed.